The door clicked shut like a gunshot in the silence of our cramped Brooklyn walk-up, and Christopher's eyes, those damn piercing blue eyes, locked onto mine with a hunger I'd only dreamed of in the dead of night. I froze, shirt half unbuttoned from the humid July heat, my heart slamming against my ribs as he stepped closer, his broad shoulders blocking the faint hallway light, whispering, "Michael, I can't pretend anymore. This is killing me." In that split second, the air thickened with the scent of his sweat and cologne, and everything I thought I knew about us shattered like cheap glass under his boot. It started 6 months earlier, back when the city felt like a beast devouring us both alive. I just graduated from NYU with a film degree that meant jack shit in a market flooded with trust fund kids wielding iPhones like Oscars. Christopher, Chris to everyone but me, because I liked the way his full name rolled off my tongue like a secret, was crashing on my couch after his band imploded in some dive bar beef up in the Bronx. He was 24, all lean muscle from hauling amps and a jawline that could cut diamonds, with that effortless straight guy swagger. Faded Levi's slung low, a Mets cap backward, and a laugh that boomed like thunder over the East River. "Roomy," he'd grinned that first night, slapping my back hard enough to bruise. "You're saving my ass. Beer's on me forever, forever." The word haunted me even then. I'd known I was gay since I was 14, sneaking glances at the lifeguards in the Hamptons where my parents dragged us every summer to pretend we were wasps. But Chris? He was the poster boy for hetero hell. Ex-girlfriends tattooed in his stories, a string of one-night stands he bragged about over late-night pizza slices. "Dude, nothing beats a girl's soft curves," he'd say, oblivious to how my stomach twisted, forcing a nod while I buried myself in script revisions. We were oil and water, or so I thought. Oil that ignited. Our apartment was a shoebox on the 3rd floor of a brownstone in Williamsburg, the kind of place where the walls bled history and the radiator hissed like a pissed-off cat. Rent was split 50-50, but Chris was always late, making up for it with gigs at local spots or crashing on the fire escape with a joint, strumming his beat-up acoustic until neighbors banged brooms. I'd watch from the window, nursing a coffee, memorizing the way his fingers danced over the frets, calluses rough against the strings. He wrote songs about lost loves and open roads, ballads that made my chest ache because they were all about her, the mythical she who got away. Never him. Never us. But there were cracks. Small ones at first. Like the time we binged The Notebook because it was raining and Netflix glitched, his pick, surprisingly. He rolled his eyes at the sap, but by the end, his arm was slung over the couch back, fingers brushing my shoulder, and he didn't pull away. "Ryan Gosling's got that brooding thing down," he muttered, voice thick. "Kinda like you, Mike." I laughed it off, heat flooding my face. But that night, alone in my twin bed, I replayed it until dawn, wondering if straight guys ever questioned the script Hollywood fed them. Summer hit like a freight train, turning the city into a steam bath. We escaped to Coney Island one sweltering afternoon, dodging tourists on the boardwalk, salt air whipping our hair. Chris dared me to the Cyclone, that ancient wooden roller coaster that rattled your bones. We screamed like idiots as it plunged, his hand gripping mine white-knuckled, not for show, but real, raw fear in his laugh when we stumbled off. "Holy shit, man," he gasped, slinging an arm around my neck, pulling me close in the crowd. His breath was hot against my ear, body pressed solid against mine, and for a heartbeat, the world blurred. Then a hot dog vendor jostled us, and he let go, buying us Nathans to celebrate. But that touch lingered, a ghost on my skin. Back home, the tension simmered. I'd catch him staring during our ritual Thursday poker nights with the guys from his old band, Jake and Rico, loudmouths who ribbed him about his celibate streak. Chris would flush, dealing cards with shaky hands, muttering about focusing on music. One night, after they left buzzed and broke, he collapsed beside me on the couch, head lolling onto my shoulder. "You're solid, Mike. Don't know what I'd do without you." His words slurred soft, whiskey on his breath, and I froze, every nerve alight. I wanted to turn, to trace the stubble on his jaw, to ask if he felt it too, this pull, like gravity gone rogue. But I didn't. Straight guys don't cross that line. Or so I lied to myself. The hook sank deeper in August, when his ex, Tara, blew back into town like a hurricane in heels. She was all blonde ambition and yoga-toned legs, a graphic designer who'd dumped him for a tech bro in Seattle. Chris lit up like a kid at Christmas when she texted, pacing our living room with his phone. "She's sorry, man. Wants to grab drinks." I nodded, forcing enthusiasm, but inside, it was acid rain. That night, he came home reeking of gin and regret, collapsing on the kitchen floor with his head in his hands. "She's seeing someone else." Fuck, Mike. Why do I always pick the wrong ones? I knelt beside him, hand on his back, feeling the heat through his thin tee. "Because you're chasing ghosts, Chris. You deserve real." Our eyes met, his glassy and searching, and time stretched thin. His hand covered mine, thumb stroking my knuckles, deliberate, electric. "And you? What's your ghost?" The question hung, loaded. I swallowed, voice barely a whisper. "The one right in front of me." He blinked, confusion flickering, then pulled away, mumbling about needing air. He slept on the fire escape that night, guitar silent. I lay awake, heart a war drum, knowing I'd said too much. Or not enough. Fall crept in with crisp leaves and shorter days, the city shedding its skin for scarves and steam from street vendors. Chris threw himself into open mics at Pete's Candy Store, his voice raw over folk riffs that now carried an edge, lyrics about locked doors and unspoken sins. Fans loved it, girls especially, slipping him numbers he crumpled in his pocket. A tag along, nursing a PBR in the corner, pride swelling when the crowd hushed for him, jealousy gnawing when a pretty brunette lingered too long post-set. One rainy Tuesday, everything tilted. I was editing a short film on my laptop, some indie crap about unrequited love, ironic as hell, when he burst in soaked, cap dripping. "Rough night," he grumbled, peeling off his shirt without a second thought, tossing it over a chair. Water sluiced down his chest, tracing the V of his hips, and I couldn't look away. He caught me staring, towel frozen mid-swipe. The room went still, charged like the storm outside. "Mike, you ever think about it? Us?" My breath hitched. Every damn day, the confession slipped out, reckless and true. He stepped closer, towel dropping forgotten, his body inches from mine, warm, alive, impossible. Then he kissed me. Not tentative, not testing, a crash of lips, desperate and deep, his hands fisting my hair as if drowning. Kissed back, tasting rain and relief, the world narrowing to his mouth, his groan vibrating through me. We stumbled to the couch, clothes shedding like inhibitions, his touch mapping me like a song he'd always known. But dawn brought the crash. He bolted upright, eyes wide with horror, scrambling for his jeans. Shit, Mike, what the fuck did we do? His voice cracked, panic raw. I reached for him, but he flinched. I'm not. This isn't me. Tara was right. I'm fucked up. He dressed in a blur, fleeing to the fire escape, leaving me tangled in sheets that smelled of us. Betrayal hit like a sucker punch, not from the act, but the denial. He'd taken my heart and hurled it back, shattered. Days blurred into a cold war. He avoided my eyes, crashing at Jake's, coming home only for changes of clothes. I buried in work, pitching scripts to indifferent agents, but every rejection echoed his words. This isn't me. Lies. I'd seen the truth in his kiss, felt it in his grip. But straight boys rewrite their stories to fit the mold. The climax brewed at his biggest gig yet, a showcase at Rockwood Music Hall, scouts from indie labels in the crowd. I almost skipped it, but pride or masochism dragged me there. The venue pulsed with bodies, lights low and smoky. Chris took the stage, guitar slung low, voice a gravelly prayer. His set built to a new song. Locked doors, words pouring out like confession. You walked in and turned the key / straight lines bent. Now it's you and me / but the mirror lies. Says I'm not free. The crowd roared. I froze, tears hot, because it was us raw, exposed. After, in the green room, Tara was there, all smiles and congratulations, her hand on his arm. He leaned into it, laughing like old times, but his eyes found mine across the room, pleading, broken. I turned to leave, storm raging outside mirroring the one in my chest. When he caught me in the alley, rain lashing us both. Michael, wait, please. His voice shattered the downpour. I whirled, soaked and furious. Wait for what, Chris? Your next denial? Your straight guy redemption arc. Words spilled, venom and ache. He grabbed my arms, pulling me close, forehead to mine. I'm scared. Okay, terrified. My dad's a Bible thumper from Ohio. Mom left because of it. I've buried this so deep. But you make me want to dig it up. Tears mixed with rain on his face. I love you. Not as a roommate. As everything. The fight drained out, leaving us bare. I cupped his face, thumbs tracing his jaw. Then stopped running. Our kiss was slower this time, tender under the neon buzz, the city an indifferent witness. No more locked doors, just us, stepping through. Winter wrapped Brooklyn in frost, but our apartment thawed. Chris came out to the band first. Jake punched his arm, grinning. About fucking time. Dude, Rico bought rounds. Tara? She texted a simple be happy. Family was harder. His call to Ohio ended in silence. Then a cautious we'll talk. Mine, well, Dad's golf buddies in Connecticut weren't ready for a son who loved like this, but Mom sent rainbow socks with a note. Proud of your heart, kiddo. We built a life in the cracks. Mornings tangled in my bed. His songs now ours, duets on the fire escape. Harmonies sweet as stolen time. He landed a deal, small but real, touring dives while I sold a script about two guys rewriting their endings. Betrayal's scar faded, replaced by something human, flawed, fierce love. One spring night, under cherry blossoms in Prospect Park, he dropped to one knee, not with a ring, but a guitar pick engraved "Forever Yours." "Marry me, Mike, in whatever way the world allows." I pulled him up, kissing him fierce. "Every way. Every day." And just like that, the straight roommate who'd locked the door became the man who'd unlocked my world. Shocking? Hell yes. Worth it? More than the skyline. The proposal lingered like the park's petals on our jackets as we wandered home, Chris's hand warm in mine despite the chill. New York didn't blink at us. Couples of every stripe blurred into the evening rush. But for him, every glance felt like a spotlight. "You think they'll stare on tour?" he asked, voice low as we dodged a bike messenger on Bedford Avenue. I squeezed his fingers. "Let 'em. You've got better songs than their opinions," he chuckled, that deep rumble that still sent shivers down my spine. But I saw the flicker old ghosts in his eyes. Back in the apartment, we celebrated low-key. Takeout from the Thai spot on the corner. Springsteen on the turntable, his head in my lap as I ran fingers through his hair. "Remember that first night?" he murmured, tracing patterns on my thigh. "Couch surfing like a stray. Thought you'd kick me out by week 2. I smiled, remembering the chaos, his socks everywhere, my scripts buried under empty beer cans. "Nah. Knew you were trouble worth keeping." Our eyes met, heat building slow, and soon the food went cold as we lost ourselves in each other, bodies speaking what words couldn't yet. But love's not a straight shot, even when the road bends your way. Chris's tour kicked off in May. A string of East Coast dives, Philly basements, Boston lofts, Hartford holes in the wall. I drove him to Penn Station that first morning, skyline hazy in the dawn, his duffel slung over one shoulder. 2 weeks, he promised, kissing me deep against the car, uncaring of the commuter streaming past. Call every night. Love you. The train swallowed him, and the apartment echoed empty without his chaos. My days filled with revisions on bent lines, the script I'd sold to a scrappy indie producer in Chelsea. It was our story, veiled in metaphor, 2 artists in a city that choose dreams, one straight-laced, one wild-hearted, colliding in a kiss that rewrites the map. The producer, Lena, a chain-smoking dyke with a buzz cut and zero bullshit, loved the raw edge. "Make it hurt more," she'd bark over coffee at Veselka, her Ukrainian pierogies going cold. "Betrayals the spice." I nodded, typing feverishly at night, Chris's voice on speakerphone my muse. "Miss you, babe." Crowd in Providence ate it up, sang Locked Doors back to me. He came home tanned and road-worn, scooping me off the floor in a bear hug that bruised sweet. We had a week before the West Coast leg. Stolen days of lazy fucks and rooftop picnics, his guitar serenading the stars. But cracks spiderwebbed in. Late calls from promoters, he'd say, voice tight. Texts lighting his phone at odd hours. I trusted him, had to, but doubt's a sneaky bastard, whispering in the quiet. It boiled over in Chicago. He was midway through a set at Shuba's when my phone buzzed. A photo from an unknown number. Chris, on stage, but not alone. Some twink with bleached hair and a lip ring grinding against him during the encore. The crowd whooping. Caption, "Your boy's got moves. Careful, he's wild." My stomach dropped. Script forgotten as I paced the kitchen. Rain pattering the window like accusations. He called post-show. Exhilarated. "Babe. Killed it. Sold out." I forced calm. Saw the pic. "Who's the guy?" Silence stretched. Then a sigh. Just a fan. Mike jumped the stage, security pulled him off. It's nothing. His voice cracked on nothing, and I wanted to believe, but the seed rooted. Come home safe, I said, hanging up before the hurt spilled. He did, 2 days later, bursting in with roses and that grin. Missed you like air. We fell into bed. His apologies murmured against my skin, but the rhythm felt off, his eyes darting, touches hesitant. I pushed it down. For us. For the fragile thing we'd built. Summer faded into a sticky September, his album dropping digital first to decent buzz. We threw a listening party in the apartment, Jake DJing, Rico grilling on the stoop, Lena critiquing tracks over cheap wine. Chris dedicated the title song to me on stage at his release show at Bowery Ballroom. To the one who picked the lock, the crowd awed. I teared up in the wings, pride swelling huge. But betrayal's shadow loomed. One night, post-party cleanup, his phone chirped on the counter. I glanced, habit, not suspicion, and froze. Texts from Alex. Last night was fire. When next? Miss that mouth. Heart hammering. I scrolled hotel rooms in Cleveland, pics of tangled sheets, words that gutted me. Straight no more? Alex teased. Chris, just blowing off steam. Don't tell. The door was unlocked when he stumbled in from walking Rico home, reeking of smoke and secrets. I held up the phone. Voice steel. Who's Alex? His face drained of color, stumbling back like I'd swung. Mike. It's not. Don't. I snapped. Tears hot. Not what? Not you fucking around while I rewrite our story for the world. He sank to the floor, head in hands. I panicked. The tour, the labels, they all assume straight. And Alex. He's easy. No strings. No risk like with us. Risk. The word sliced. I'm the risk? After everything. He looked up, eyes wrecked. You're everything. That's why I ran. Can't lose you. We fought till dawn. Yells echoing off walls. Silences heavier than screams. He confessed. The pressure from his label to keep it hetero. The fear of losing fans. Family reconciliation hanging by a thread. I hate myself for it, he whispered, reaching for me. I pulled away, chest caving. Then fix it. Or we're done. He left for a solo retreat upstate, his folks' old cabin in the Catskills, promising space to sort his head. I crashed with Lena, pounding out the script's climax. Betrayal's knife twist. Forgiveness a hard-won grace. Days blurred. Calls went to voicemail. Then, a package. His guitar pick necklace, note scrawled, came out to Dad. He hung up. Worth it for you. Come find me? I drove north. Leaves turning fire orange. Heart a storm. The cabin was off Route 28. Wood smoke curling from the chimney. He waited on the porch. Unshaven. Vulnerable in flannel. I told the label. Alex is ghosted. It's you or nothing. Rain started as I stepped into his arms. Kiss salty with relief. Nothing's not an option, I murmured. We made love inside by the fire, slow and reclaiming, bodies mending what words couldn't. Fall deepened, his tour wrapping with a homecoming show at Mercury Lounge. No more shadows, he kissed me on stage, crowd erupting in cheers and whistles. Bent lines greenlit, filming in spring. We talked rings, ceremonies, small, with our misfit family, band bros, Lena toasting with Pyragus. But humanism's in the mess, not the polish. His dad called eventually, gruff, heard you're good to him. That's something. Mine, still golfing blind. We navigated, imperfect, jealous spats, late-night doubts, but rooted now, like the old oak out back. One crisp November eve, under that oak in Prospect, we exchanged vows scribbled on napkins. Through locked doors and open roads, I choose you. The city hummed distant, our love a quiet revolution. Shocked, still are, every day. Grateful, to the stars. Winter bit hard that year, blanketing Brooklyn in gray slush and holiday lights that mocked our fractured families. Chris's album climbed indie charts, whispers of a major label sniff turning heads. But success tasted bittersweet with the echo of his dad's silence. We'd drive up to the cabin monthly, chopping wood in companionable quiet, his arm around me as flames crackled. Think he'll come around? I'd ask, passing the whiskey. Chris shrugged, chin on my shoulder. Maybe. Or maybe I stop waiting. Those words were growth, hard-earned, like the calluses on his fingers. My script shoot loomed, bent lines casting callbacks in a chilly Soho loft, Lena barking orders like a general. I landed the lead, a newcomer named Eli, all earnest eyes and theater kid fire, who nailed the audition with a monologue that had me tearing up. He's you. 10 years back, Chris teased over diner eggs, but I caught the edge tour scars running deep. Jealous, prodded, foot hooking his under the table. He grinned, wolfish. Of your hot co-star? Nah. Just want to be the only one bending your lines. We laughed, but tension threaded our days. His label pushed a collab with a Nashville hotshot, Tyler Reed, country crooner with a drawl and a heteronormative fanbase that made Chris's jaw tick. Keep it bro why? The execs advised over Zoom, suits starched. Chris nodded, but later, in bed, he vented, like I'm some puppet. Smile for the straights. I held him close, tracing tattoos, a compass on his ribcage, needle pointing true north. You're free now. Don't let 'em chain you. Freedom's price hit at the Grammys after-party nom. Best New Artist nod. A shocker that had us popping cheap champagne on the stoop. Paparazzi swarmed his next solo gig, flashes popping like gunfire. A tabloid hack cornered him post-set. Chris? Rumors of a boyfriend, true? He froze. Mic still hot. Crowd hushed. My heart stopped from the wings. Then, steady as his strum, yeah. Michael. Best plot twist of my life. Cheers exploded. I rushed on stage, kiss fierce amid confetti chaos. Headlines blared next day. Folk heartthrob comes out and outrocks. Elation crashed into backlash. Socials flooded. Trolls spewing slurs. Fans unfollowing in droves. His dad called that night. Voice gravel. Saw the news. Proud. Son. Bring him home for turkey? We did. Thanksgiving in Ohio's frost. His mom's pie awkward but warm. Stepdad grilling me on Mets stats like a secret handshake. It wasn't perfect. Cousins' side eyes. Bible verses muttered, but it was human. A bridge over the chasm. Back in the city, filming ramped up. Bent lines shot on location in the village. Cobblestones slick with January ice. Eli was pro, but chemistry sparked on set. Stolen glances, ad-libby touches that Lena ate up for the lens. Chris visited daily, cap low, bringing coffee and quiet support. But one rap party at a dive in the East Village. He snapped. Eli's arm slung casual over my shoulder in a group shot, and Chris stormed out, coat forgotten. I found him on the fire escape, joint trembling in his fingers. Can't do this, Mike. Watching you with him, it's like tour all over. I climbed out, rain beating on my lashes. It's acting. You're my real. He pulled me onto his lap, kiss bruising. Prove it. We fucked right there. City lights blurring, reclaiming territory in gasps and grips. But doubt lingered, a third wheel in our bed. February brought Valentine's, a blizzard trapping us inside, candles flickering as we slow danced to Coltrane on vinyl. He proposed for real that night, ring simple silver with a guitar string band, down on one knee by the radiator. Marry me proper? Vows? Cake? The works. Tears pricked. I nodded, pulling him up. Yes. 1,000 times. Planning was chaos. Venue hunts in rainbow-washed lofts. Invites to our patchwork crew. Lena as best woman. Jake officiant after YouTube ordination. But conflict crested in March. When Tyler Reed bailed on the collab, too queer for my brand, his manager emailed curtly. Chris spiraled, drowning in whiskey at Pete's. Stage dives turning sloppy. They'll bury me, he slurred one night, head on the bar. I dragged him home, tucking him in with water and worry. You're bigger than their bullshit. The real storm hit mid-April, filming rapping with a rap bash at Lena's Bushwick warehouse. Booze flowed, egos inflated. Eli cornered me by the keg, breath boozy. You're electric on screen, Michael. Off too. His hand grazed my waist. Innocent? No. I shoved back, but not before Chris witnessed from across the room, face thunderous. He vanished into the night, phone dead. Panic clawed me. I searched till 3 a.m. bars, alleys, the bridge. Found him at the cabin, unannounced drive upstate, passed out on the porch with an empty fifth. Wake up, I shook him, voice breaking. He stirred, eyes bloodshot. Go back to your star, Mike. I saw wrong. I snapped, hauling him inside. By the fire, truth spilled. His fear of losing me to normal. The betrayal echo from Alex twisting fresh. I'm poison. Straight poison turned half-gay fraud. I straddled him, hands framing his face. You're mine. Flawed. Fierce. Forever. Our lovemaking was apology and anchor, bodies sinking like his best riffs. Dawn brought clarity, therapy, joint. We face it together, I said. He nodded, ring glinting. No more running. Spring bloomed reluctant, but we did rehearsing vows in the park. His new single, True North, dropping with a video of us, hands laced under that oak. Backlash faded to buzz. Tyler who? Wedding day in June. Under a canopy of lights in a Gowanus garden. 50 souls witnessing. Jake's toast body. Lena's teary. His dad's handshake firm. We vowed amid laughter and rain. In storms and stills, I choose your chaos. Rings exchanged. Kiss ceiling. The reception spilled into night. Band jamming till stars wheeled. Later, in our bed now ours, lease renewed, he traced my tattoos, whispering, shocked we made it. I smiled against his neck. Best shock ever. Summer post-wedding was a honeymoon haze. No passports needed, just a road trip up Route 1. Pacific Coast our runaway. We ditched the city for 2 weeks. Chris's pickup rattling with guitars and coolers, windows down to salt wind. First stop, Big Sur. Cliffs plunging to turquoise waves. Us tangled in a tent under redwoods. His songs lulling me to sleep. "This is it," he murmured one dawn, coffee steaming as seals barked below. No stages, no scripts. Just us. I kissed his temple, heart full. Our plot twist paradise, but paradise has potholes. Back in Brooklyn by July 4th, his label dangled a major tour, arenas, opening for a pop act, the kind of break that buys houses. "It's huge, Mike." He buzzed over fireworks on the East River, arm tight around me. I nodded, proud but prickling. 6 months on the road, post-honeymoon glow fading fast. Bent Lines premiered at Tribeca in September. Raves rolling in. A queer rom-com with teeth, Variety gushed. Eli's star rose too. Invites to his after-party pulling me away while Chris packed. The goodbye at JFK was brutal, his flight to LA. For promo, mine to a festival panel. "Video every night," he promised. Kiss lingering amid harried travelers. "Love you to the coast and back." The apartment felt cavernous without him, scripts stacking like accusations. Calls were lifelines, his from green rooms, mine from hotel bars, voices bridging miles. But distance amplifies doubts, missed connections, delayed texts. A blurry Insta-story of him with fans, arms slung casual, ignited old flames. "Just bros." He laughed off on FaceTime, but sleep evaded me. October brought the storm. Bent Lines hit theaters. Box office modest but critics darling. Eli and I on talk shows trading bromance jokes that chafed. Chris's tour exploded, sold out Chicago. Viral TikToks of his set. Pride swelled, but so did the whispers. Groupies bolder now. Straight curious vibes in fan mail he forwarded laughing. Then, the leak, a grainy video from Denver. Him kissing a backup singer post-encore. Crowd blurring the line. It hit TMZ at midnight my time. Phone exploding with alerts. I didn't answer his calls. Crashing Lena's with bourbon and rage. Betrayal 2.0, I spat. Screen frozen on the clip. She hugged me fierce. "Talk to him, idiot. Don't script the end." He landed at dawn, banging on her door, eyes wild. "Mike, please." It was the whiskey, the high. One stupid mistake. I faced him in the hallway, chest heaving. Mistake or pattern? Words warred. His tears, my fury until neighbors peeked. We cabbed home silent, storm brewing. In the apartment, it erupted, furniture shoved, voices raw. "You married me," I yelled, hurling the remote. "Vowed no more running, and you run to her?" He crumpled on the couch, head bowed. "I don't know who I am out there." The lights, the roar, it pulls me back to easy. To safe, safe. The word gutted. I'm not safe? After Ohio, the coming out, the trolls. He looked up, wrecked. "You're everything." That's why it terrifies. We circled for days, him sleeping on the couch, me in bed stewing. Therapy via Zoom, his counselor's voice calm. Own the fracture. He did. Quitting the tour mid-leg. Label apoplectic. "Fuck arenas," he declared over takeout truce. "I want mornings with you, not encores." Forgiveness came slow, in touches tentative then tender. Rebuilding trust brick by queer brick. November thawed us. His solo acoustic run, intimate clubs, stories between songs about the man who saved me from myself. I joined for Philly, on stage duet sealing scars. Bent lines streamed huge, sequel talks buzzing. Eli graciously stepping back. Your love's the real scene stealer. Holiday lights twinkled as we hosted. His dad in from Ohio. My mom video calling with eggnog toasts. No perfection, just presence. Laughter over burnt turkey. His hand under the table grounding. New Year's on the bridge. Fireworks bursting. He whispered, "Here's to shocks we survive." Kiss under the boom. City hours. Spring 2026 bloomed with babies talk. Not yet, but dreams. Adoption. Surrogacy. A nursery in a bigger place. His album Unlocked dropped. Tracks co-written in our kitchen. Vulnerability vinyl etched. Backlash. Fizzled to footnotes. Fans multiplied. True ones chanting our names. One muggy June Eve. Anniversary marked on the fire escape. Guitar in lap. He strummed our song. Shocked us both. That door, he grinned. I leaned in, heart steady. Best lock-in ever. Years folded like well-worn sheet music. Our life a melody improvised from discords. By 2028, Brooklyn cramped, bent lines too, fractured frames shooting in LA. Chris's folk rock steady with a Grammy whisper. We traded the walk-up for a fixer-upper in Ditmas Park. Victorian with a yard, creaky floors echoing our steps. Room for ghosts, he joked, painting the nursery blue. Though kids remained a someday horizon, agencies navigated, hearts hopeful. Success scaled gentle. My directorial debut, Echoes Unlocked, premiered at Sundance, Queer Elders' Tales, Chris scoring the soundtrack with strings that wept. He walked the carpet beside me, hand-laced, flashing that grin to flashing bulbs. Proud hubby, he murmured amid cheers. Backlash lingered in corners, hate mail. The Ohio ants disinvite, but we armored in community. Brunches with Lena's wife. Band barbecues where Jake's kids called us Uncle Mike and Chris. Conflict crested soft in 2029. His dad's health failing, cancer. Quiet siege. We flew Midwest. Hospital beeps underscoring talks long delayed. Regret not sooner, the old man rasped. Hand frail in Chris's. You too. Light in the dark. Tears fell. Forgiveness full circle. At the funeral, eulogy Chris's. He taught me love bends, doesn't break. We scattered ashes by the river. His mom's hug fierce. Family now. Grief rippled home. Chris withdrawing to songs somber. Gigs sparse. I pulled him to therapy hikes in the Palisades. Words unpacking loss. You're my north, I reminded. Trail dust on our boots. He surfaced. Album Rivers run cathartic release. Tours acoustic and close. 2030 marked a decade since that locked door. Vows renewed in prospect under the oak. Now gnarled guardian. 50 guests. Graying edges. Eli toasting from Hollywood. Rico's band jamming reception. Rings refreshed. Kiss eternal. Fatherhood arrived 2032. Twins via surrogate, Luca and Aria. Dark curls and blue eyes. Chaos in diapers. Chris sang lullabies. Me scripting stories at midnight feeds. Our plot thickens. He laughed. Spit up on his tea. Doubts? Faded to footnotes, trust tempered like steel. By 2035, legacy bloomed. Chris headlining folk fests. Me mentoring queer filmmakers at NYU. The apartment, museum piece, Airbnb'd for fans. Our Ditma's home hummed, dinners raucous, yard barbecues with neighbors' pride flags waving. One autumn dusk, fire escape nostalgia, grandkids' laughter distant, someday's gift. He strummed soft. Shocked us. Ha! Eyes crinkled. I leaned close. Shocked and saved. Humanity's in the arc. Not straight lines, but curves embracing. Our door? Always open.